Hey everyone, Untap Your Go here, and today we're playing Jeskai Cycling in Standard. This is more predominantly like Boros with a splash of blue. We're only playing a few blue sources, which we can actually get away with the new flip lands, just to be able to occasionally hardcast our Neutralizes to counter our opponent's spells, and maybe we'll occasionally play Startling Development to make our creature's base power toughness 4/4, and then occasionally we can play Boon of Wishgiver to draw 4 cards. But for the most part, we're just Boros. We're just trying to play as many of the cycling cards as possible that cost 1, or, you know, 1 is ideal. There's only 2 cards that cost 2 to cycle, and that's Neutralize and Yidaro Wandering Monster. And as well as, like, the Triome, I guess. But everything else in the deck cycles for 1 mana. And then basically, we just want to make our Flourishing Foxes as big as possible, heal a bunch, make a bunch of 1/1s, sting our opponent for a bunch, and then hit them with the Zenith Flare for infinite for lethal. And that's the deck. Quick, simple, to the point. Mana base is pretty simple as well. We play all 4 of the red-white pathways, and we play all 4 copies of the blue-red pathways, as well as 2 copies of the Triome, and then just a mix of basics, predominantly white because most of our early threats and stuff are white. Which actually, I think I will change the planes up for 1 mountain, make that nice and even. And that's the deck. So I hope everyone enjoys. If you do, please consider leaving that like in the comment down below, as well as doing the rest of the YouTube stuff. And I will see everyone in the wrap up. Thanks for watching, everyone. Okay, we're on the play, and we have a pretty decent start, so we're going to keep it. So we're just going to play out our Flourishing Fox, hope that it lives a turn, and start going ham with the cycling. Up against potentially Temur rogues, Temur Control, Soul Tie. There's a lot of things that could be. So I think we play this for the red. Might as well start cycling. We found a Zenith Flare pretty early. That's most likely going to get Thought Seized, or Thought Erasured, maybe. That's not even in Standard anymore. What am I talking about? I'm just going to cycle this and get in for some 3. Get that 3-pointer and pass. Say hello to the pup as well. Hello, pup. Main phase Thieves Guild Enforcer. Interesting. We didn't hit a land, which is kind of a bummer, but we can have this fight. Might as well take care of that before it becomes a Death Touch 3/2. Keep pressuring our opponent's life total. And it's definitely the Rogues deck. There's a Drown in the lock. Alright, so now our next game plan is to just start cycling. He's going to help grow our Zenith Flare, which is cool. And we'll try to get another land. Counts. And we'll just pass it up. Start taking some damage here, but our opponent is only 8 points away from lethal. Opponent. Alright, so no rankle for our opponent, that's pretty good. Alright, so end of my opponent's turn. I think I'll just cycle out the Boon of the Wishgiver. Cool. Found more land. What are the odds that our opponent's playing actual counter magic besides Drown the Lock? Valiant Rescuer is most likely going to get countered, so I think I'll just play this one out. Maybe try to draw out a counter spell or removal. Yeah, our opponent definitely had priority there, so I'm just going to pass it up. Probably another Thieves Guild Enforcer, maybe. Ooh, oh, okay. They were thinking about it. They almost went for the castle, and if they did, that would have made our jobs a lot easier. Sure. What a weird card. Opponent decides to get in for 3, and we are going to... Well, first we're going to go to blocks. And then I think before damage, we cycle this. I want to keep the Valiant Rescuer. Try to. Might need it in case we need blockers. And this is perfect. We hit another 1 mana cycler. Any tricks from our opponent? Nope. Alright, so they just take the even trade. Which puts our cycling count up to 10. Now I think we just actually run these out. Keep drawing out the counters. I'm actually going to hold the Fox. See what our opponent does. Soaring Thought Thief, huh? Okay. We have to catch our opponent tapped out a blue to be able to safely cast this Zenith Flare. Sure. Opponent's drawing all the cards. Yep. Other Thief's going Forcer is pretty good for us. Yep. Actually, I think I hold that as a threat now. Let's see if maybe I can get a counter spell out of him. Opponent's in the tank trying to count how many cyclers we have, so they're not risking. We cycle this one. Play that, and then pass it up. And it's digging in their graveyard. Perfect. So I'll try to counter it. See if he wants to counter that. See how bad he wants to win the counter war, I guess. He probably has to let this get countered because he has to know I have it, right? I mean, he's definitely keeping his mana open and playing like he knows. And we have 2 of our Zenith Flares in the bin, so we have to make 1 or 2 of these count. Definitely have to make this count. Alright, so let's get into combat. Put our opponent down a little bit more. Alright, opponent takes a safe block. Let's just play out the Drannith Stinger. See if he wants to counter it. Alright. Opponent's not tapping out. They definitely had a counter spell because they held priority when I cast the spell, but not when I passed the turn. So either they had their auto pass locked, or They're actually just holding a counterspell, and it's the only way that they can hold priority. Opponent's digging in their graveyard again. Might see like a Call of the Death Dweller or something. That'd be interesting. A little bit spicy. Okay. Arsonist is cool. Alright, so our 4th Zenith Flare is still in the deck. But we definitely have lethal now. Just need to wait. Yep. I think we pass. See if they have anything. Yeah, they're not even going to try to dig. They're just not going to tap out. If I draw my 2nd Zenith Flare, then I can start forcing it. And it's not as quick and easy of a I win button as people think it is. I gotta actually trade with the Fox. I can grow it here, but I really want to try to catch my opponent tapped. If I cycle this, yeah, I guess I have to. But now my opponent knows that I'm tapped. Yidaro is not bad either. Down to 21 cards in library. We're still okay. We're not super in the red yet. Our life total is probably more in danger than our deck. Ooh. Our opponent might just be dead. So go ahead and cycle one more card. Granted, that helps. They're gonna mill 8 cards here, which is decent. There's my last Zenith Flare. And they have 1 mana open, so what's the chance that they can actually counter this with 1 mana? There's Miscast. I think I just play it. Good game. It's all about patience. Just knowing when to fire it. Alright, so our opponent is on the play, and our opening hand is pretty bad. I mean, I guess it depends on what our opponent's doing, right? I think I'll take the mulligan anyway. This hand seems better. Pocket one of the Drannith Stingers. And let's see what our opponent's got. And it's Burn. It's mono red. This is mono red. We are gonna die. Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. Boo doo doo doo, boo doo 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 doo. Alright, so nothing from our opponent. They have to just be like holding up shock or something. Yidaro is not a bad draw. Let's play this for a red. I think we're just gonna hold up Yidaro. Godzilla, Doom Inevitable. What you got, opponent? Sure. I'll just be like Temur Adventures or something, and he's just like super shot on mana. No? Okay. It's definitely burn. Let's go ahead and cycle this now. If I can get this to trigger off against red, I'll be in a pretty good spot. The Zenith Flare might just be good enough with the life gain. And like, yeah, it sucks that Yidaro never actually hits the graveyard, so it never counts towards the cycling count, but it's just, I don't know, it's too powerful of a card to not really see a reason in playing it. Drannith Healer is probably going to help too. He might have a shock. I'll just pass, hold up cyclers. Yep. I'll gain 1 life out of it. Player's gonna run out their Bone Crusher Giant. We play this out like this. We might even use the Startling Development, maybe. It depends. I think we really just go for the cycling plan, but maybe trading with the Bone Crusher is not a terrible idea. Yeah, well, they can just Scorching Dragonfire it. Actually, I'll force them to have to use another card. Infuriate. Dang. Dems the beats. Alright. Dems beat and breaks. So we'll try to find a main phase play. Perfect. So do I play this out? I probably have to. He's probably on the verge of Ember Cleaving me. Well, he needs land or a hasty boy. Well, no, he needs a land. Infuriate, man. Come on, people still play this card? This ain't even the right card for that. The right deck for that. Another Arsonist for our opponent. Alright, let's cycle good for blood. Get another one. And another one. We're gonna cycle this one too. Alright, cool. Double Flare is actually really good for us. So I can hold this up. Depending on what our opponent does. If they play Embercleave, I can kill whatever the target is. If they don't, I might just hit them in the face with Zenith Flare. Maybe on the following turn I might be able to draw another cycler. Okay, so they just run out the Bone Crusher Giant. I think I could take 6 here. Let's go ahead and hit our opponent. Back up to 20. Now is next turn's probably their Embercleave turn if they're playing it. Hey, we got there. Can we get one more 1-mana cycler? It's gonna be Yidaro. Oh, we got there. Good game, opponent. Sweet, 2 up. On to the next one. Alright, opponent's on the play, and we have a nice curve, so we're going to keep. Let's go ahead and start off with the Fox and watch him die, probably a horrible death. No? Okay. So we're up against the rogues again. We're up against rogues, the Rogue Guild. Alright, so no play from our opponent. 4 more. I mean, I could make this. I could make them fight. Seems kind of bad. So I think go ahead and get our red source down and. Let's go to combat. See what our opponent does. Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting. Nah, I'll let it go through. Hit him for the 1. We're gonna pass it up. Sure. So opponent's got us down to 4 cards in grave. Halfway there for their deck to be online. Opponent gets their damage in. Let's just cycle Yidaro. I think our opponent has a Drown in the lock, just waiting. Which is going to be awkward because I can't even really go for the fight at instant speed, so. Let's go ahead and cycle, get that going. Cool. Alright, so another Thieves Guild Enforcer turns them all online. So I think I have to go for the Valiant Rescuer. See if the opponent has the counter spell. Opponent thought long and hard about that one. We're just gonna go ahead and pass. I already know that our opponent's got another rogue or something, just waiting. Brazen Borrower. That's like the worst one. That's fine. So we're just gonna pass it up. Yep. Well, opponent's putting more in the bin for us. Let's just go ahead and cycle this. Alright, opponent's stuck on lands, as am I, and they're probably still holding up the counter spell, which I'm going to assume this will get countered. Interesting. Alright, well, I'll go ahead and cycle one card. Get a nice little body. We need to find our fourth land. No attacks, we're going to pass. We can't get the value of it, so we might as well just hold it. This might be the opponent to take us down. Had a pretty unlucky start, all things considered, as far as our mana base is concerned. Yep, another card. My opponent is just growing my Zenith Flares, and they're probably holding up the counters for them. Still no land. Well, we got 3 Zenith Flares. It's a little awkward. Oh. No, I actually don't think playing this even really matters now. So we're gonna have these two fight. Good. Go ahead and try to find our fourth land. Hey. Let me just pass. Our opponent's down to 1 card in hand, and we have 37 in library. Our Zenith Flares are going to start really hitting them hard. And it gets us down to 10. Get a Fox. Let's go ahead and cycle this away. We're down up to 13 now. 6 away from lethal. We have all 4 flares in our hand. That's so funny. I think we just pass and hold them up. Or have to discard one of our cards. Okay. Discard. And discard the Valiant Rescuer. So before they get to draw, we're going to go ahead and hit them in the dome. And our opponent had to have drawn into a counterspell or they're just out. And our opponent's tapped out. And they can't kill us this turn. Let's go ahead and block there, doesn't matter. If I were my opponent, I actually would have held up the borrower mana as to try to bluff a counter spell or something. Maybe force me to try to play around the counter that's not there. And we'll just dome our opponent. Hit him with the good game. Our opponent was a good sport about it. Good game, opponent. Okay, opponent's on the play. You have kind of a slow hand. I mean, we have a nice amount of cycling. We have the Fox, but we can't play it on turn 1 unless we draw into the untapped white source. Still think this is an okay hand. Up against Simic, most likely Temur Mutate or some form of a Omnath deck. Start up with the Triome. Our counterspells might actually come in handy this game, having access to the double blue early. So go ahead and start out with the Fox. I think being on the play this game, or yeah, being on the draw this game probably hurts us a lot, but go ahead and pass it up. Ooh, Ruin Crab for my opponent. Okay. This is going to be fun. This is probably like the worst matchup for them, all things considered. Does our opponent have the drown in the lock? Alright, let's see if our opponent decides that if blocking is a good or bad idea. Yep, 3 damage is free. Go ahead and pass it up. Now if he tries to do anything, we have counterspell. Yeah, that's probably a good target. He's probably digging for the land. Yep. Now we can start really beating in. Does the opponent decide to block? No, blocks again. Okay. We're not worried about our life total for the most part, so we can go ahead and get rid of that. I mean, this can get us some extra damage. I mean, we get the extra damage regardless of how we slice it, so. Let's cycle it that way. We found one of our Zenith Flares, now we just need to find a 4th land. Which we do not. It's okay. We got our opponent down to 13 now. Now we can let their mill just keep binning some more cards for our Zenith Flare. This swarm's not bad for our opponent. I'm going to go ahead and cycle Godzilla, start getting that engine rolling. We found our land. Go ahead and get the Drannith Stinger down too, so we can get some more chip damage in with the cycling. Okay. We're still in a pretty good spot, though, all things considered. Our opponent is just simply dead next turn. Man, we're one card off from being able to just kill him this turn, so they might have the counter magic ready. Or have the opportunity to have it ready. No attacks from our opponent. Yeah, and they're just gonna pass it up. They definitely have counterspell. So now what I think we need to do is find another Zenith Flare. Or catch them tapped out. But now they're definitely at lethal range. And might as well cycle this one too. Okay. This is probably a better alternative. I'd rather have the Drannith Stinger down. This might draw out the counterspell. No? I'm just going to pass it up. And now our opponent just probably can't do anything. If they tap out wrong, even, and good game. Alright, opponent's on the play. We have like a decent start. We don't have the Fox turn 1, but we have all 1 mana cyclers, so we can just start digging away. And no companions, so no information really. Maybe the Fibblethip might give me an idea what they're playing. Fibblethip's not even in standard anymore, right? Man, I was like a month or 2 away from signing up in time to qualify for this, the beta sleeves and the Fibblethip. So, I'm going to keep this. Field passage for our opponents, so not a very fast start, luckily. Alright, so this is an Omnath deck. It's purely guessing, though. You know what? The random occasion that this might just come up, I might as well. Now I can just make all of my creatures hasty if I wanted. I didn't realize this gave trample too. That's crazy. Oh no, so Temur Adventures. So I think we go ahead and get our Stinger down. Hope they don't have the red source for the Bone Crusher Giant. Are they going to make a bunch of 1/1s? It's possible. Okay, Aura for our opponent. Now I think we just start getting in for some points of damage and hold up this counterspell. Otherwise we have quite a bit of mana to do stuff with. Okay, another Clover for our opponent. I think we have to counter that. I can't even counter that actually. I didn't even realize I didn't have the double blue. We just have to, we have to be aggressive. Sure. They get 3/1/1s. Pretty good for our opponent. So we'll play out our Valiant Rescuer. Go ahead and make us some 1/1s. Man, this is intense. Like, I don't like staring at double clover. Everything they play is just gonna have absurd amounts of card advantage now. Yep. Well, I'll just go ahead and cycle this out. Just get to double up their mana for free, essentially. Card's crazy. Another Lovestruck Beast. Probably have Brazen Borrower on standby. I do not mind making these trades. Okay, opponent. Show me the Brazen Barber. Gonna do the thing. Good job, opponent. You did the thing. Still nowhere near close to the Neutralize mana. Get down another Drannith Stinger. Cycle one of these. And here comes the Brazen Barber. Yep. Yep. You can get a Fox for other draw. I can't play it. That feels bad. I'll pass it up. You can still get there with a Zenith Flare, but their Uros are going to be keeping us out of range as well. Opponent's still a ways off from getting an Uro. Uro doesn't really make sense in these decks because most of their cards hang out in exile. Like, you'd have exactly enough cards right now to escape Uro if these were all in the grave. I don't know, though. Another Lovestruck Beast for our opponent. I will gladly make that trade. Now I think at this point we have to cycle one of these. Find some more lands. We found two. get one of our blue sources. We get our opponent for 7. We play the Fox. That leaves us 4 mana. I wouldn't get strong enough if I cycled. I think I just play the Valiant Rescuer. Hold up the cycling. Yeah. The Drannith Stinger probably would have been good as well, but another Valiant Rescuer is not bad. Alright, so provided our opponent doesn't play another Brazen Borrower or something, we'll have some blockers. Try to keep our life total up. That's a card. You don't see that every day. Yep. Sure. So our opponent decides to block with everything, or attack with everything. And they're just holding up priority. Come on. Come on. Of course you have it. So what does that put me at? So that's 16, 17, 18. Wow, they really had exactly lethal. Dang. This deck is powerful. Simic though. Interesting. So, good game, opponent. Hey guys, welcome back with the wrap up. And today we went 4-1 for a pretty good finish, nice and strong. One thing I would suggest is adding even a few more blue sources for the neutralizes, or just cutting these out altogether. I don't think that we actually need the blue splash too much. We probably could have just went strictly Boros and, you know, maybe made our mana base a little less clunky, but I mean, these pathways really made it easy for us to be able to keep our 3 colors pretty much consistent throughout the entire game. And we only played 20 lands, but because we're cycling and drawing so many cards, we found them pretty often. Unfortunately, we never got to the Yidaro plan, but Fox has gotten us there once. Zenith Flare has gotten us pretty much every game. This card is still a powerhouse. I don't know why I don't see this deck in the ranks that often, but it's still a contender. Definitely worth giving it a shot. And this is very budget friendly. Like, it requires mostly common and uncommon wild cards outside of like the mana base and the Yidaros. But either way, hope everyone enjoyed. If you did, please consider leaving that like in the comment down below, as well as the rest of the YouTube stuff. And I will catch everyone in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.